My unit. Salud. BC's gonna try to keep this cold open short so we can get on with this Smackdown June 11th, 2021, because there was a lot to go over. So I'll keep this cold open to two topics. Very brief. Number one, Roman Reigns, Jimmy and Jey Uso. On top of the professional wrestling world right now, hands down, unequivocally, unarguably, absolutely on top of the wrestling game. This is the type of storytelling we have not seen in years, and the perfection in their performance, second to absolutely none. Roman Reigns, Jimmy and Jey Uso, they've been putting on dynamic performances, but what I saw last night, give these sumbitches the Academy Awards. Captivating at a time where we are desperately calling for WWE to just get a base hit. Characters, storylines, creativity. Just get on base. And Roman Reigns and Jimmy and Jey Uso are over here hitting home runs and grand slams. How long can these three gentlemen hold SmackDown, the WWE, on their backs? Remains to be seen. But for last night and for the weeks previous, these three dudes are absolutely crushing the game. We're going to go over exactly what they did and their performances from last night in this very review. And number two, to wrap this cold open up, Triple H. I put up a vidcast, if you will, yesterday. A podcast that was over an hour long. Seems like you guys absolutely enjoyed the shit out of it, judging by the numbers. And it raised a big debate. Was Triple H just in blaming the fans for why talent is misused? Why talent in NXT does not want to go to the main roster because they know the talent will be misused. They will be misused. And Triple H took that question and he turned it around on the fans. And he blamed us for always ruining our own surprises and us not being happy all the time and saying, if you don't like it, just don't watch it. Now that's something that you expect to see from some 9-year-old on social media. If you don't like it, just don't watch it. Yeah, let me try that when my Packers suck or when my Yankees suck or when my Knicks suck. Let me just not watch it. If you're passionate about it, if you love it, chances are you're just not going to give up on it. You're going to voice out. What do you do at a game when your team is absolutely shit in the bed? You yell, you boo. The fuck are you doing? Take this bum out. It's part of being a fan. But you don't hear your organizational leaders turn on the fans during the press conference after the game. No. If the fans don't like it, they don't have to come to the stadium, to the arena. You don't hear that, do you? It's because that's not how you conduct business. And most of these sumbitches know what a fan is. Or what a critic does, what a journalist is supposed to do. So Triple H, you see, the debate is mute. This isn't even an argument because I think people are failing to realize what the whole issue is. It's not about Triple H saying that fans ruin their own surprises. There's some truth in that. It's not about Triple H saying that fans are unhappy all the time. There's major truth in that because the product sucks most of the time, if not all the time. Now, you see, the issue is that in a question that was asked about misuse of talent, the fact that Triple H somehow dodged it for 4 minutes and then turned it on the fans, that is what the issue is. That is what is unacceptable. The question was about misuse of talent, and it ends up a diss to the fans. If you don't like it, don't watch it. Fans ruin it for themselves. Fans should put their phones down. Give them something to put their phones down for. I don't understand how that question wound up insulting the fans, because that's what it did, and H knew it did, because in that very conference, right after he made the statements, he said, "I'm sure these words will be taken out of context." So what BC did for you yesterday in that vidcast is I played it full audio, no edit, so you guys could hear there is no out of context. He literally said, if you just don't like it, don't watch it. You like it or not? If not, don't watch. Those are his words. And then he said the fans are what's ruining it. For themselves. No, we know the truth. The company, Vince McMahon, is ruining it for the fans, for themselves, for his own talent. And another debate is, well, what do you expect Triple H to say? He's a company guy. He's going to give the company answers. Sometimes it's better to say less than to just spew out bullshit. This was a complete PC available answer. All you had to say was, we will get better. We know there's a portion of the fan base that is unhappy, and we strive every day to be better. That's what you give as a corporate answer. You don't say the fans are ruining it for themselves. You don't say if you don't like it, don't watch. So anybody that is trying to justify Triple H's words, how the fuck do you even wind up talking about the fans? Fans haven't even been there for the last year and a half. And you're gonna still somehow turn it on them when you, Vince McMahon, you the company, should have been producing your best creativity of all time because you had nothing but time on your hands. But somehow, it's the fans' fault. Anybody who is siding with Triple H and trying to justify these comments, you are a big issue and problem with why WWE specifically is in the shithole that it is. And that is your cold open. I'm your host, BC Amplified. Red Team Go! Smackdown 6/11/2021 review, Amplified style, starts right now. Excited to jump into this one, man. It just seems like SmackDown. I don't know what it is. SmackDown always just seems so much better than Raw. I'm not saying it's a consistently great or even good show even, but it just seems better than Monday Night Raw. I don't know what the fuck it is. Maybe some semblance of storytelling. Maybe it is Roman, Jimmy, and Jay carrying that son of a bitch. Maybe during this review we'll find out a little bit more details and clues as to why. First and foremost, welcome. As you can see by the arrows, you are in gorilla position. If you need catering or just straight coffee, follow the arrows. Follow the yellow brick road. If you need Vince, you can follow that arrow, but good luck. You'll be waiting outside his office for hours upon hours. Jump into this show, man. Jimmy Uso starts the show, middle of the ring. Jimmy clearly upset that the tribal chief cost them the tag titles last week. Jimmy says Roman is jealous because he's back and he wants his brother by his side. He says, and I quote, "Tonight I'm gonna do something I won't regret." Roman and Jey Uso are watching in Roman's personal dressing room backstage. Roman tells Jey, "He's not my brother, so you better take care of this." Jey Uso walks off. Good first segment. The performances here make it so much better. The setup is great. The creativity is actually good here, but the performances are really selling this son of a bitch. As the years go on, man, the Usos just get better and better to BC. I mean, I appreciated them when they first showed up on the scene many moons ago. But every year I feel they are finding themselves more and more. They are getting that confidence. They are taking themselves to the next level. And as a fan, a critic, a journalist, whatever you call yourself, a casual, It's easy to progress with them when it's so natural. So the Usos are just becoming elite. I know a lot of people put stock into the New Day as the top team for the past decade because of their accolades and championships. But to me, the Usos are the best team in professional wrestling, best tag team, and they've been for years. And that's not shade to my boys, who I love very much, the Briscoe brothers, or even the Young Bucks. There's great teams out there. FTR, if you want that style as well, man, you could put into the fold. But the Usos just check off every box and continue to rise to the occasion, continue to get better, and I have to give them their props in this very review. Salute to the Usos. Just phenomenal, man. And then with Roman and this whole storyline, makes you think, man, can we wait 2 years for The Rock at, 39? WrestleMania 39, I believe, in LA. That's what they're trying to wait for. I mean, can they hold this story for 2 years? I highly doubt it. Then there's rumblings that Rock may show up for Survivor Series, so what's that setting up? Next year's Mania in Texas? They were really trying to make it LA, but I think they know they have gold here, and they're sitting on a pile of fucking pristine gold. So you gotta kind of strike while the iron is hot. Maybe they're bringing in Rock now, who knows? And then we had an incredible backstage segment with Jimmy and Jay. This was backstage, Jimmy and Jay. Jimmy's trying to talk some sense into Jay, and Jay finally snaps. And Jay's like, what do you want me to do, Oos? I'm stuck in the middle. I love you. I have my allegiance to the tribal chief. What do you want me to do? And Jimmy's like, I got you. You tell Roman I'll be in our locker room. I love it. I mean, the passion, the realness in this, man. It's so easy to go along for a ride when it's so natural. And the passion is there. And there's no... You can't see where the line is because it could easily be so real. That type of jealousy, that type of animosity. We know about the fighting when they were kids and growing up. It's just beautiful, man. And Jimmy and Jay had that real volatile backstage one-on-one, and it wouldn't be the last one either. So the bulk of that first 20 some odd minutes was dedicated to that storyline, and they kept going back to it. And that's what I love. I always tell you guys, what makes a good show is when you can have one main storyline that you keep going back to throughout the 2 hours. It's like any drama that you watch, right? There's one main storyline that you are watching for the entire hour-long drama. It's one main... You can cut to several other stories that are going on, but it's the main focal point of that show that you want to jump into throughout. Every segment, you should have that 4 to 5 minutes. Whether it's Walking Dead, Breaking Bad, you want Breaking Bad, you want to focus on Walt. If it's Walking Dead, you want to focus on Sheriff Rick. You want to focus on the prison if that's where they are. You want to focus on the farm if that's where they are. That's the main storyline. It doesn't matter who ventured off to kill zombies near the river, who's in the forest killing zombies. You want the focal point should be back at the farm, back at the prison, wherever they wind up. I'm only in season, 3, 4 now of Walking Dead, so I've only seen the farm and the prison. But my point is, you want that main focal point. They spent so much time on it last night. I absolutely loved it. Then we went into the first real match of the night. This was a tag team match. Kevin Owens and Big E versus Sami Zayn and Apollo. Owens stuns Zayn for the W. I don't understand how many times we can see Owens beat Zayn or Zayn beat Owens over the years. We've seen it 165 times. We saw it again last night. Post-match, Apollo is on the mic asking why they're celebrating because they didn't beat him, and the only reason they won is because, quote, he's with this idiot, meaning Zayn. So Zayn is pissed off at Apollo for calling him an idiot, but Commander Sneeze puts him down before his barks get louder. So Sami Zayn not only gets beat, but then he gets beaten down afterwards then he gets insulted by Apollo and then beaten down by Captain Sneeze. And then Apollo says he wants a rematch next week with those two, Owens and Big E, but this time he's going to have Commander Sneeze and not Sami Zayn. So So we get to do this again, and now we get to watch this fucking big dude try to wrestle. All right, whatever, man. Why are Owens and Zayn feuding again? That's my big question. I'm not even going to go into the rematch next week. I want to know why we're still doing Owens and Zayn in 2021. And we just saw that, was that WrestleMania? I thought it was WrestleMania. They just reignited the feud for no reason. So we saw it 163 fucking times in past years. Even before NXT and WWE, when they were on the independents, I've seen it 100 times, but let's just stick to NXT, WWE. We've seen it so many times, you literally don't need to see it ever again. And we know they put on good matches, but that doesn't mean, if you have a good movie, that doesn't mean you put together 30 sequels. I mean, you've seen it with Fast and Furious. They're up to like, what, 9, 10 by now? And it sucked after 1. So how many sequels do you need? Zayn, Owens, we understand they can go in the ring, but they've done all they can. They cannot top what they've already done, trust me, and we just saw it at the pay-per-view earlier this year. And again, I believe that was actually the grandest stage WrestleMania. If I am wrong, they definitely wrestled at a pay-per-view this year. I remember that, because I was irate at that too. I couldn't believe that they were reigniting this in 2021 because they don't have anything for Owens and they don't have anything for Zayn. So they just have to revisit this. The problem is they wore it out, and that's what I mean about rematches. This is exactly what I mean. If you have people face each other every week, every month, 16 times within 3 months, yeah, do the math. It's only 12 or 13 weeks in 3 months. But they'll have them face each other 16 fucking times. Then they'll have one final payoff where they call it the final time ever. And then, a year or two later, when they're creatively bankrupt, which this company always is, they're gonna go back to the match. But somebody like BC is going to remember that you put a stipulation on them saying they're never gonna fight again. And here they are going into Mania with a match, or whatever fucking pay-per-view it was. And here we are after Mania. Now we're going into the middle of 2021, and somehow they're still feuding. And there's still a person out there going, I don't mind it. Well, that's on you. I don't want to raise, or I don't want to lower. I want to raise my bar. I don't want to lower that son of a bitch to mediocre levels. I expect more creatively. You can't just have Owens and Zayn fight each other for the rest of their careers. You can't do it, man. I know some people are out there going, well, I don't know, that's going to be good wrestling. It's not anymore. You look at what they did in the ring years ago. You look at what they did this year. It's worlds apart. They're no longer on the same level that they even once were. So now we're just getting downgraded matches. I know that's hard to take in, man, because we all love Owens and even Zayn. Or a lot of us. I like Sami Zayn. I like this new character. I could do so much with this Sami Zayn character. And so many fresh matches. And just creatively put him in some awesome stories. But they keep going back to this one Owens and Zayn thing. I'll try not to harp on this anymore. I was watching this last night, and even last week, even though I didn't put out a review because I was out of state, I was thinking the same thing last week. Why are we still doing Zayn and Owens? I mean, they have to move on at some point. You have to respect Owens enough to give him someone else. Or otherwise, in 2024, you're going to see it reignited again. In 2026, reignited again. And if it kept elevating itself, that would be one thing. It's not anymore. You saw it with their feud earlier in the year with Logan Paul and all that shit. I think I got that right. Logan, not Luke Paul. I used to call him Luke. So yeah, I think that was WrestleMania. But you saw it, man. It was a shell of what they once did. So I don't understand what anybody is expecting out of them going forward. Are we going to see another match with them at SummerSlam? Allow me to say I pass. I'll be the one to step up and say what most of us are thinking. I pass. Owens needs a new feud. Zayn needs a new feud. I've seen it. We have seen it for years. Fuck are you doing, brah? And again, save it. Oh, they put on good wrestling matches, so I'm okay with it. I don't give a fuck. There's great wrestling matches all over because there's great wrestlers all over. I can go to the local bingo hall and see great wrestling with Fuckwad Fred and Peacock Paulie, special guest referee. You guys know my local pizza delivery guy, Luigi Lugnuts. And you might even have a special enforcer, Bobcat Benson. And maybe Honkin' Holly will show up. Who knows? We all know about Honkin' Holly from yesterday's video, don't we? Still pissed at that motherfucker. Doing Skylar dirty like that. So anyway, I'm done with it, man. The great wrestling is only just a little bit, just a little of what is needed. You need care. You need to keep elevating. All right, I spent a long time on that, but that's something I wanted to spend time on. This is something this company is going to have to change. I no longer need to see Owens and Zayn. Anyway, Carmella versus Liv Morgan is next. Carmella was good here, man. The taunting, the physicality, the confidence, all spot on. I know, you're thinking, BC, man, you're giving all these compliments to Carmella? It's exactly what I'm saying. Go back and watch the match again. Watch it. Maybe the first time you were in your phone. Maybe you just saw it was Carmella and decided to go for a bathroom break. Maybe make a sandwich. Maybe start smoking. Who knows? But I'm telling you right now, man, the physicality was there when she was laying into it. There was confidence. There was no hesitation. The taunting was spot on at the right moments. This is what I do, man. This is why I've gained a good audience. It's because people know I know what the fuck I am talking about. I dissect pro wrestlers, characters, storylines, shows better than anybody else in the community. I just do. That's not ego. That's not a pat on my own fucking massive delts. That's just the fucking truth. We all know it. That's what I do for everybody. I just don't say, hey, oh, here comes another fucking blonde. I'm just going to put her in the Vince's blonde bombshell category, which a lot of them are. But no, Carmella is improving by the fucking week. Now, there's mixed reaction to her new gimmick, the most beautiful woman in all of WWE. I'm kind of digging it, especially how this ended. I'll get to that in a second. But even though Carmella was top form last night, Liv Morgan is the one that picked up the victory with her Oblivion finisher. I'm happy for Morgan. Trust me, you guys know how much I have advocated for her since she returned a couple of years ago. I'm just a big Liv Morgan supporter. Even I don't truly know why. I mean, you can't really put together that many Liv Morgan masterpieces. But I think we all know, or at least a lot of us know, that Liv has potential to be something big in this business. If she keeps working her ass off and getting better and better, there's major potential, man, and she's a spitfire. So I'm happy for Morgan. You know, she really needed this W. I see a lot more 50-50 booking here because you got the same people that are losing the week before, winning the next week, and it's not helping anybody. You guys know I'm like a broken record. I say this all the fucking time. So I'm not happy with that. But Morgan could have definitely used that W. And I gotta be honest with you, man. I can't help, and this is not shade. I just said I'm happy for Morgan. She needed this. But I also can't help but feel the timing here. The fact that she's getting these singles matches. The fact that she's beating Carmella. I can't help, like, this is a kick to Ruby Riott while she is down. They fire Ruby, and now they want you to see, we got rid of the right person. There is no getting rid of the right person. You shouldn't have gotten rid of Liv, so yeah, you're right. But you also should not have gotten rid of Ruby, because Ruby had all the potential in the world. All the potential in the world. So now this is them trying to backtrack, it seems. You know, look, oh yeah, everyone's upset about us letting go of Ruby, but check it out, man. The best is still here. Look at Liv. Look at her pick up W's. But no, we're not going to just forget about Ruby, and we're not going to think, oh, okay, this was a right decision then, man. Liv's looking good. No, it's still a bad business call to get rid of somebody like Ruby Riott. She can drastically help your fucking roster. Just so you can bring people back like Eva Marie? Again, it's not shade, it's just the truth. You're getting rid of somebody with immense talent, with all the potential in the world, and bringing in somebody who doesn't have the talent and has already fell flat on her fucking face. I don't care if people think that's shade, that's the truth. We've already seen this experiment. And now I'm starting to hear people go, well, maybe Eva got better in the ring. Well, I would fucking hope so. She's got nothing else to do but to train. That doesn't mean she's gonna be in Ruby Riott's level. I stand by those words. I'll give her a fucking chance. I still don't understand why we're rolling out the red carpet for Eva Marie, literally, and getting rid of Ruby Riott. Anyway, it was good to see Liv Morgan win this. I couldn't help but think of Ruby Riott in that victory, though. Post-match, Carmella has Greg Hamilton announce that Mella is still the most beautiful woman in all of WWE. I love this. It was like Carmella she wasn't obsessed with the fact that she lost, she wanted Greg Hamilton to make sure that everyone knows she's still the most beautiful girl in WWE. So once he says those words, she's checking her face to make sure, and she's like, all right, I like this. A lot of people are like, see, that's what I don't like, BC. She's putting the wrestling second. That's what a character should be doing in that spot. She is a heel. She's been there for years. She's going to be in a position, and she is right now, to have to put over people. Not just because she's been there a long time, but because she is a heel. She's going to be putting people over. You want her to stay relevant. If she's just in there picking up losses and playing the routine of temper tantrum after I lose, we see that all the time from heels. This is a good way to keep her relevant, keep people not liking her, hating her, in this gimmick. This is something that will really draw the ire of people. I like this, man. So not only is Carmella getting better, but she's got a character that you can legit either get behind or just absolutely despise. I'm liking all that I am seeing with Carmella. I got an LOL moment after she had Greg Hamilton announce that shit. I'm on board. So that's a loss that Carmella did not get hurt in. Again, the 50-50 booking aspect, I can't stand that shit. But that's what happens when you have rematches time and time again. Sip of coffee. We'll start hour number 2. Ow! Fucking Dunkin', man. Double shot. Extra, extra. That's how you start your fucking morning. Pound these bitches. This is my third one, too. I know, it's early, too, man. So we got Ding Dong, hello. We got Bayley. Special guest is Seth Rollins. Seth with the new variation of Burn It Down is a mega upgrade. Hugely needed. His old heel theme, I didn't know who it was. I didn't know if it was like Jinder Mahal, if it was some new guy, somebody from the local bingo hall like Peacock Paulie. I didn't fucking know. This one, it's distinctive. He brought back the Burn It Down, just a different variation. I like this. And Rollins was out there, man. I gotta be honest. Rollins was out there looking like an Easter egg. Or a fucking pastel M&M. He had the multicolored fucking Easter color suit on. I fucking loved it, man. I mean, I'm just loving Rollins', we love Johnny Drip Drip, but I'm loving fucking Rollins Drip Drip. I see you put them in a fucking story and let them just go, man. I'm sure the outfits themselves will entertain us. So Bayley and Rollins were great together. The whole segment was them completely cracking up at the damage that they've done to Belair and Cesaro over recent weeks. The doorbell rings. Rollins asked Bayley if she ordered food, man. Another LOL moment from your boy BC. He was so sincere. He's like, did you order food? So Rollins gets up to answer the door, and it's Cesaro front and center. This was perfectly done, camera nowhere near showing Cesaro. It's funny because the door is just it's just the door, right? So that's what makes all of this funny. And Cesaro is waiting patiently right at the doorway. Rollins opens it. Cesaro throws in a throat punch or some shit, and drops Rollins. Rollins was beaten down to his underwear, literally. His pastel M&M Easter egg suit totally ripped off. He's getting thrown around. Bayley's Ding Dong Hello set. Bayley was hilarious in this son of a bitch too, because she gets back in the ring once Rollins runs off in his underwear. Bayley gets back in the ring and she tries to put her set back together. It's hilarious because the set is destroyed. And Bayley's trying to put this, and she'll stop every now and again, look at Cesaro and go, dude, come on, this is new. Bayley's phenomenal in this role, man. I'm really loving it. I don't want to see her ever again all over the Thunderdome, taking up all the spots with her laugh, because that's more for Alexa Bliss's character, which was already jacked from Bray Wyatt. So I don't want to see it jacked a second time by Bayley. But there's a lot of fun in this Bayley character. I thoroughly enjoyed Seth Rollins and Bayley together. That was absolutely just great chemistry, man. And again, I legit LOL'd a couple of times in this segment, and Bayley trying to put her set together was just phenomenal. It's those little things, man. I like to think that's what sets me apart from any other reviewer in the community, man. I pay attention to those little details, because in the end, in the long run, they're not so little. Belair then comes out to end this segment. She just sits top of the ramp, or stands top of the ramp, and she adds insult to injury, laughing hysterically as Bayley did to her last week. So I thought this was a nice little touch right at the end, right? You want fans to see Belair, but you don't want them to have too much interaction because we've already seen them face each other. We're going to see them again, I believe, Hell in a Cell. And you just don't want to see that much more physicality. We're going to see everything before we actually see them again. This is what Vince does all the time. To get to a match at a pay-per-view, he just has them face each other every fucking week. Or he has them getting physical every week to the point where we don't even need to see the pay-per-view match. We've already seen them do everything to one another. So I thought this whole segment was beautifully done, man. Again, whether you liked it or not, that's your prerogative. That's not my job to just look at this from a fan's point of view. This is, my job on this channel is to critique this to the core, right? I'm here to say what was actually done good and not done good, done bad, and even ugly. Unfortunately, with this company, that's a lot. But this was actually good. Then we went into Gable versus Montez Ford. This was fun for a few reasons, so let me go over them. Number one, it was just a good match. Not that shocked. It's Gable and Montez Ford. But imagine if we had proper build, storytelling, and character development with these two. Montez versus Gable could have been even better, leaps and bounds better than what we got last night. Just imagine if they put care into this. But beggars can't be choosers. This was good. We're taking it, right? Number two, that's number one. It was a good match. Number two, Gable protecting himself during the finish of this match was insanely awesome. Montez hits the frog splash. Otis was supposed to hit the ring and cause a DQ, but Otis was late, considerably late. So Gable said, fuck that, man. Went into business for himself, and I'm glad he did. He not only kicked out, but he completely 360 to where he ended up on top of Montez for a second. I love this, man. Do you, dude. Right? It's one of those situations where, do you, man? He knew Otis was late. The only other option I'm sure he was thinking Vince wanted was, all right, just take the fucking pin then. Just let Montez pin you because it's Montez's foot. It's his frog splash. Right? You're not going to kick out of it. But yes, man, Gable protected himself. Gable was not supposed to get pinned. Just because Otis was late does not mean Gable should be taking the pin. So Gable made a split-second decision. Maybe he got yelled at by Vince. Maybe Vince was pissed off. Maybe Gable is in the doghouse this morning and going forward. I hope not. But Gable made a split-second decision. He knew Otis was late. I either get pinned flat on my back again, and I've already been a fucking jobber since I got to this roster, or I kick the fuck out and look strong. And he didn't just kick out a little bit, just a little bit. No, it's not like a roll-up where you can't even get your shoulder up. Gable kicked the fuck out and almost landed on top of Montez from the kick out. It was great. And because Otis was late afterwards, it was pretty ugly. Otis didn't know what to do at that point because he was supposed to attack Montez, but he knew he was late. The referee didn't know what to do, so he just called for the bell before Otis even laid in a punch, and the DQ was called. It was ugly, man, and this all came from timing issues. Otis should have been 2 seconds earlier. That's what I mean. Timing is everything in professional wrestling. If you're just a fraction of a second late, you're going to cause a ripple effect, and everyone's going to look bad, and everybody is going to be forced to make a last-second decision. So I love Gable protecting his own ass in this. That's the second reason I love this. I like this match really better than I thought I would, right? When you just give me Montez and Gable, two tag team dudes, I pretty much rolled my eyes. But when this was done, man, there was a lot I was seeing that was good. Again, number one, it was a good match. Number two, Gable protecting himself and doing himself. That's fucking awesome, man. Do you, dude. And the third thing I loved about this, man, Otis knew he done fucked up, so he tried to make up for it by being even more physical during the post-match beating of Montez. And I'm telling you, not once but twice, Otis completely crushed Montez Ford. And I mean completely crushed him. Like, there was no, knees first when he did the little spring fucking belly flop on him. I loved it, man. I call it the old fucking, the Vader bombs? When he would just spring himself, second rope, and then just fucking leap out and just belly first, man. I'm drawing a blank on the actual name of it. Fuck, that's gonna bug me. But you guys know what I'm talking about. He completely splashed Montez and just literally crushed him. Not once, but twice. And you gotta believe that Otis knew he fucked up, so he was gonna come across as a legit beast, right? Try to save face himself. So Montez, he took the blunt of all of this, man. First of all, his splash got completely kicked out of. Like Gable came to life after two. And then afterwards, he gets completely squashed, crushed by Otis. So Montez definitely took the blunt of all of this. Several officials rush to the aid of Ford, and Dawkins ends up covering Ford to protect him as we fade to a commercial. I absolutely love that segment, man. So there was so much good on SmackDown last night. I don't know if Vince was tied up somewhere, if Vince had to be somewhere else, if he just took some of the wrong medications. I don't fucking know. But this SmackDown actually came off as a salute from BC. And the best was yet to come, because we still had Roman Reigns' segment with Mysterio. Of course, Mysterio pissed off that Roman fucked up his son. If Mysterio only knew what was to come, man, Roman was about to go complete beast status on a sumbitch. So let's do that as we continue our number 2. But yeah, so far in hour number 2, Ding Dong Hello was actually really good. Gable and Montez Ford, a lot of good there, even though, and they made this good out of nothing, because again, Otis could have made this real ugly by coming in really late. So, salute. Now we're going to go into Shinsuke and Baron Corbin again. That's right, for the 100th fucking time. Shinsuke Nakamura versus Baron Corbin. Okay, I love Shinsuke with the crown. You guys know that. Several weeks ago when he was driving around in the Corvette, or whatever the fuck it was, he was driving around roof down with the fucking crown on. He's drinking his coffee with the crown on. He's got his fucking cat or his dog with the crown on. I loved it, man. This was just so funny. And giving Shinsuke a little bit of fucking life in this shitty creative that he's been handed for years. And there's something there, for sure, with Shinsuke in that crown. Even attached to the new call-up, Rick Boogs, Boggs, Biggs, Boogs. There's something there with this guy, Boogs, as well. But we need to find out what the end game is here, because we can't have Shinsuke versus Corbin heading into WrestleMania 42 in the year 2026, right? We have to move on. We're already seeing this with Owens and Zayn. Something has to give with Nakamura and Corbin. Shinsuke wins this via the awe-inspiring, ultra-devastating Fruit Roll-Up. That's right. So Corbin gets the Fruit Roll-Up award. I don't have the awards right now. We'll send that in the mail to Baron Corbin. That's an award you don't want. That means somebody was just holding your legs down or your shoulders and you could not kick out. That is the most pathetic way to lose a match. It's what WWE rests on all the time, the Fruit Roll-Up. And Corbin is your latest victim of such. He wins the Fruit Roll-Up award. That'll be mailed probably by Monday morning. We'll send that out to Baron Corbin. So Shinsuke wins this. More 50-50 booking. I think backstage, Pierce is like, you're both 2-2 now. So now we can have another match next week. And I'm like, oh great. We're going to see the same match again next week. And Pierce's big idea to progress this is to have them face one another next week, and the winner gets the crown. I mean, can't Corbin just get a fucking lawyer and say, hey, this is my fucking crown? I don't know why he has to fucking wrestle for it, but okay, making sense is not this company's strong suit. So we're gonna see this again next week. Whatever, man. The show was pretty good. I'll take a fucking mulligan here. And now I want to get into the stars of the show, man, the Usos and Roman. Let me get a big swig of coffee, and we'll get into the main event slots, if you will. Alright, so now we're going to move into an emotional, volatile, amplified backstage promo between Roman, Jimmy, and Jey Uso. Jey had enough, and Jey walks off on his own. Jimmy says, enough, let's throw down to Roman. Roman is able to manipulate Jimmy by playing the guilt trip routine, blaming Jey walking off on Jimmy's own selfishness, to the point that Roman told Jimmy to go make things right with his brother, and Jimmy actually listened and obeyed and went after his brother Jey. This was just great. I mean, again, they did it again several times in this show, man. It wasn't just once or twice. Every time the camera was on them, they were hitting grand slams. From the very opening segment with Jimmy in the middle of the ring, Jay and Roman watching on backstage, right to the very first face-to-face with Jimmy and Jay, right after that opening segment, straight into the little segments throughout the night. In this one, where it finally came to a head, Jay walks off. Roman's able to manipulate Jimmy when Jimmy was about to fucking punch Roman in his dome piece. And Jimmy goes off to go get Jay, leaving Roman to answer to Rey Mysterio in the main event slot, which is what happened. Rey Mysterio's in the middle of the ring calling out Roman over the beating that he gave his son Dominic the week previous. And Rey says he wants Roman inside of Hell in a Cell. Now, at first, everyone's rolling their eyes, right? I mean, this feud just started a week ago, and we didn't even know it was a feud, right? I mean, Dominic got beat up, okay, right? This is the first week where you see that it is a feud. And in the very first show, they're calling a Hell in a Cell match. So it's befuddling, absolutely. I hear you guys. I thought the same thing as you. I'm still thinking those thoughts. Here we are this morning. But that's WWE being WWE. They don't know where they're going. Vince is ripping up scripts left and right. And you're left with not a lot of time left. And your card is nowhere near filled out. So this is Vince in panic mode. And he put that out there. We need another Hell in a Cell match. Let's go with this. Now, at least you can understand from Rey's point of view why he would want that. That's his kid. Pro wrestler is one thing. Taking it to the level you took it to, that's a whole nother fucking thing. And now, I'm gonna beat that ass. Not in some wrestling match, right? Because you beat him up, not in a match. So now I want you in Hell in a Cell. So at least it makes sense from one of their point of views. And this is what I mean about Roman's immaculate performance. Lately, last night, just personified. But Roman Reigns is here, man. It's just unreal. When Rey Mysterio says Hell in a Cell, again, all of us are thinking, are you kidding me? Like, what warrants Hell in a Cell? This is your first time face-to-face now because of this altercation with Dominic last week. Like you can't just call Hell in a Cell matches like you're fucking asking the barista for a coffee. You can't just call this shit out and expect to get it. Hell in a Cell should be for the most fucking dynamic of feuds. And it can only end one way, inside of that fucking cell. So we're all thinking that the moment he says it. But Roman's performance is beautiful. The second he hears it, he also gives the same look that I'm sure most of us gave. Rolled his eyes, looks down, and he's just thinking like, what is this guy talking about? But you can tell character-wise, in his face, he's thinking, careful what you ask for, man, because I might give it to you, and you might not walk out of it. The look in his face alone, no words were needed. Roman's look alone was fucking top-notch, and it lessened the blow of befuddledness when I heard Rey ask for a Hell in a Cell match. Because I was like, come on, bro. But looking at Roman, I was like, all right, that's like he's even feeling the stupidity in it. So now I can go forward because there's a realism. I'm hoping this makes sense. When the characters can show realism, even when they're given shitty booking, the characters can take us through for the ride. Bray Wyatt does it all the time, right? He gets put in some just bad situations, but people still are with this guy because his character is so fucking awesome. You can do that with Roman Reigns. Vince will botch his booking or not have somebody lined up correctly for him, but Roman is so good right now. He's going to take us for the ride, and we're going to be like, all right, we'll fucking, we won't fucking ask to take a piss every fucking 6 miles. We're not going to ask for a fucking soda pop every 5 miles. We'll fucking sit there, and we'll go along for this ride. If it keeps fucking up, you're going to hear about us. You're going to hear from us. But if you just take us for that fucking ride in a believable, realistic way, man, you won't hear from us. We'll enjoy the shit out of this. And that's what Roman did, man. He saved the fact that why are we getting a Hell in a Cell after 1 week of feuding? Not even a full week of feuding. And the look on Roman's face told the same thing. The fans could literally live vicariously through that because we knew he was even thinking it. Man, I won't dwell on it another minute. You know, when you dissect pro wrestling like BC does, man, I get so passionate about it. I get so amplified about it because I love this shit and I love the performances. You know, when I used to see Jake the Snake Roberts selling or just being methodical and just like everything he did was just for purpose. There was never a wasted moment in what Jake the Snake was saying or doing, you know, and it's just those type of performances. Macho Man Randy Savage, he never took a moment off. Whether you love him or not, Hulk Hogan never took a moment off. I still remember WrestleMania 21. Hogan came in to like save Eugene, I think it was, and he was doing the fucking poses for like fucking 5-10 minutes at that point. You know, he's older at this point. It's WrestleMania 21. And he's posing all around the ring and he's fucking sweating. He's fucking drained. He's giving the fans everything he had. And he goes up to the top of the stage and he stops and he turns around and he keeps fucking posing. So the camera went away from the commentators back to Hulk because Hulk was still performing. And on his way back to the curtain, you see him still doing the fucking fist pump. When most wrestlers that night, the second they even got to the curtain, they were shut off and they just walked through. Hogan kept on fist pumping through the fucking curtain. Those are the moments that I remember because they are in it, man. They play that shit until that curtain drops to their back. I love those performances, man. Your look can speak a million words. Your actions can tell a story better than any dialogue ever could. Always do not waste a moment or emotion. A little bit of BC advice for any upcoming aspiring pro wrestlers. Never waste a moment or motion. Roman, top notch. And that wasn't even the best part of the fucking show, man. So Rey Mysterio says he wants that match with Roman Hell in a Cell. Roman gives that fucking look. And before Roman can really give an answer, Dominic Mysterio strikes with a kendo stick. Actually, camera fame, lower right screen, you saw a kendo stick come into the ring. And Pat McAfee is like, where'd it come from? I'm like, Pat, you were right in front of him, man. You know. But Pat had to play the commentator here. He's got to give you what we're seeing at home. So he's like, who gave him a kendo stick? So Roman gains the upper hand. The kendo stick had no effect. So Dominic comes in. Dominic Mysterio obviously gave Rey the first kendo stick. Dominic comes in to try his luck, and he gets fucked up. So even with kendo sticks, you ain't taking out Roman. And then Roman, I kid you not, man, Roman gains the upper hand and literally catapults Dominic over the top rope via a power bomb. So he's at the turnbuckle. He's got Dominic in a power bomb position. He starts darting towards the ramp, and he launches Dominic over the top rope. I'm not kidding you. I mean launches, catapults Dominic over the top rope. The camera angle was fucking beautiful here. This is, I'm sure, their little dig to AEW on how to do camera angles. A little shot because of Chris Jericho and the botched camera angle at a couple pay-per-views ago. Or, what was it? A couple events. Definitely wasn't Double or Nothing. The one beforehand. Drawing a blank, but Jericho, absolutely, what was it about? Blood and Guts? I think it was Blood and Guts. And Jericho fell from the cage, and the camera angle just showed basically him landing on the heavenly bed from the Disney Swan and Dolphin Hotel. So this was a little shot, I'm sure, man, because the camera angle was just fucking beautiful. And you see Dominic launched, catapulted, darted over the top rope, and he just fucking, they want you to believe that he got launched into the fucking rampway, powerbomb back first. It was fucking beautiful, man. And I mean launched, catapulted. And the next vision you see is Dominic on his fucking back in agony. I mean, Roman killed Dominic, basically. I mean, I don't see how Dominic wrestles a match within the next fucking month. I don't see how Dominic shows up to help his father at Hell in a Cell. I'm sure he will. But to me, this was Roman killed Dominic. This was just awesome. This was really fucking good. I'm sure now if you had social media, I don't do the whole social media thing, but if you had social and you were expecting people to praise this, I'm guessing you didn't see that because the cool thing to do is to shit on WWE, right? And that's not what we do here. I mean, we shit on WWE nonstop on this channel because it's deserving, but we don't do it just to shit on it, right? There's just awful shit nonstop in this company. But on this channel, you know that this is why I say I'm the most consistent and fair. It's because whenever there's good, I love to talk about it. Most of this review has actually been about positive shit from last night. So that's an example right there. That's evidence that I love talking about the positive shit. I just need them to give us something positive. But a big portion of the community just likes to shit on it just because, Vince has fucking ruined them for so many years. No matter what they do, they're gonna find a way to shit on it. So I'm guessing it didn't get the praise that it should have gotten on social. I don't know, maybe it did. I seriously didn't check anything on it. I just don't do the social thing. It's just a smorgasbord of shit. That's what social media is. But it should have gotten praise, because that's something we do not see and haven't seen in a very long time in pro wrestling. I mean, nobody was expecting Dominic to get darted like that. The camera angle was perfect. We know what the illusion was supposed to set up, and it did its job fucking perfectly, and it made Roman look more ruthless than we've ever fucking seen. Roman is legit willing to do anything to stomp over you. Man, was Roman phenomenal last night. Dominic played that beautifully. The stunt was pulled off immaculately. The Usos are playing at a top level right now, and they've been. Wow, dare I say, I don't know what happened to Vince last night, or if he took the wrong meds, or I don't know. But SmackDown was actually a step over decent. I'm still hard-pressed to say good, even though I do feel it was. But I just know that we can fix so much shit and really make a really good 2-hour show. But it was borderline good last night. I will give them props, man. The performances were on par. Not even just Roman and the Usos. I really loved Bayley and Seth Rollins' performances. Carmella is getting better and better. And again, this may not be popular statements, People probably just want to shit on everything they saw last night. But that's not my job here, to just play fan. I have to dissect performances and characters, and I saw a lot of development, and I saw some good shit too last night. Some good shit. So that's something we don't usually see in WWE, at least. So salute to the boys and girls, man. I did not hate this show, and it was actually, for the most part, a good show. Now, that does not mean that's acceptable going forward. You have to get better and better and not just be borderline. You have to consistently be a good and even great show, because the company, the fans, the wrestling world needs that right now. We need consecutively great shows, and there's no reason they shouldn't be putting together such. The foundation is there for SmackDown with Roman and the Usos. Everybody else seems to be following suit perfectly. If only we could get that fucking red brand to follow suit. Salute to all you guys, man, for tuning into this SmackDown review for 6/11/21. And we'll do this again. We got a big week coming up, actually. We have NXT in your house. We're going to do a review for that, man. I don't know if it's going to be live or not, but we are going to do a review for that. And obviously, we have some go-home shows to Hell in a Cell. So it's a big fucking, and then just a prep to Hell in a Cell too, man. We'll do something at the tail end of next week to get everybody in the know for Hell in a Cell. So it's a big week on the channel next week. So thank you guys for an awesome week of this week. We look forward to next week. Current subscribers, my tried and trues, you guys know who you are. Newer subscribers that just jumped on yesterday. Again, I did not expect that vidcast to do those numbers. We put it up a little bit later, and it was just surrounded about conference calls from Triple H. But you guys really seem to have dug it, and we gained a lot of subs yesterday. And we usually gain a good amount for these SmackDown reviews as well. So for everybody who just jumped on board, salute. Hopefully you guys can deal with the truth, the facts that we drop on this channel, the amplification. And if you can't, that's fine. Hit the bricks. And I mean that in a respectful way, but this is probably not the channel for you, because we get loud, we get amped, we drop a lot of facts. We might piss you off, and because we dissect your favorite pro wrestler maybe in a negative way. But that's just because we're trying to make the product better, because WWE needs to be better. That's just the facts. It's not shade, man. We don't coddle the fucking balls of any promotion. We don't coddle the balls of AEW. We're not stroking anything over on Impact or ROH or fucking Japan. And we certainly are not going to feed the ego of WWE and Vince McMahon. Everything is called right down the middle. And, yep, that's that. I'm going to get another fucking call. I'm going to down the rest of this. I've been nursing this for this review. I'm going to down this, get another one, and we're going to whoop this weekend's ass. And I hope you guys do the same. Think, be, live, amplified, always. Red team, do me a favor. Go! Goodbye.